Hi, and welcome to your practice today. Today is a vinyasa flow, but the focus will be on using yoga blocks. So grab at least 2 yoga blocks. You'll need them throughout the practice today. I would say every single movement today will incorporate the yoga blocks in some way to help you feel into your alignment more, and also just to encourage you to use these very important props during your practice. I know sometimes it's so easy just to think, well, I don't want to go grab them. I can do this. I can reach for the mats. And then we sacrifice some of the movements in our body by maybe reaching a little further, rounding and hunching in ways that we probably should not be doing in our practice. So today's flow, we're going to make it a main point to use our yoga blocks. If you have foam blocks, that's fine. I'm going to be using foam today because that's what I have near me right now. If you have cork blocks, that is good too. Cork tends to be more stable than foam. It also is a little more heavy. So for some of the movements, they may be more challenging because you have a little more weight added into them. Wherever you're at, we're going to get started. Grab those blocks, bring them to your mat. To start on your mat, we're going to come into tabletop position. We'll go ahead and get warmed up with just a couple of cat and cows. Go ahead and inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, draw the belly in. Rounding to the shoulders, press into the mat with your hands. Allow the head and neck to drop. Inhale, allow the belly to be soft. Tip the pelvic bowl forward. And then exhale for your cat pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. On the next inhale, remain in neutral. Go ahead and grab one of your yoga blocks. Place it in your right hand. From here, we're going to come into balancing table. Extend the left leg out long. Flex that left foot, and then extend the right arm alongside your right ear. So here, if you do have cork, again, that's going to be heavier. It's going to be more challenging of a weight into your arm. We're going to tiger curl. Draw the right elbow in towards the left knee, just as we would in our regular tiger curl pose, but using our block this time, maybe touching the block to the knee. Inhale, open up, extend. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, and draw it in. Let's take 2 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, open. Exhale, draw it in. On the next inhale, we'll extend the left leg out. Reach the right arm behind you and place that block in between the left calf and the left hamstring. Squeeze it there with your leg. Place the right hand back down onto the mat. Use that for support. And from here, we're just going to lift the left knee up, squeeze the left heel to the glute, keep that block there. And then exhale, round it forward. Draw the knee in. Inhale, open, lift. Exhale, draw it forward. Inhale, lift for 3. Draw it in. Lift for 2. Draw it in. Probably feeling the back of that leg really light up. Last one. Draw it in. Engage the core. And let's go ahead and set that left knee down. Bring the block back to the front of the mat. From here, we're going to set up again into our balancing table on the opposite side. Take those movements, warming up the body. Bring the block towards the left hand. From here, let's extend the right leg out behind us. Flex the right foot, and then extend the left arm in front with the block in hand. Inhale. Exhale. Tiger curl it in. Bring the block towards the right knee. Inhale. Keep the hips even. Exhale. Curl it in. Inhale, open. Exhale. Curl it in. Inhale, open. Exhale, draw the navel in, really curl into the upper back. Last one. And then bring it in. From here, we extend the leg out and the left arm, and then bring the block behind you. Squeeze that block in between the left calf and the right calf and the right hamstring. Place the left hand down, lift the right knee up. Foot is flexed, drawing the heel in towards the glute. And then we do those tiger curls, this time drawing the right knee in and then extending it up. Draw it in, extend up. Almost like you're doing cat and cows in this tiger curl position as you draw it in, rounding the back. As you lift, lifting the heel, allowing the belly to drop. And we'll take 2 more. Draw it in and extend. Last one. Lift it up. Reach the hand back. Remove the block. Set it towards the front of your mat. Very good. From here, we're going to go ahead and take the blocks, place them where our hands would be normally in our downward facing dog. And from here, we're going to set the hands onto the blocks. Heels, I prefer to have the heels more towards the front edge of the block. It gives me a little bit more leverage so that my hands don't feel like they're slipping. We'll tuck the back toes and push back into a downward facing dog. Feeling out this version of downward facing dog with the hands on the blocks. We will come back to this several times in the practice. Upper body is, of course, more lifted. You can feel yourself pressing into those blocks. Really push firmly. Allow the arms to straighten. And then from here, we're going to slowly walk the feet, going heel to toe. All the way to the front of the mat, landing with the heels first, rolling through the front of the foot, and then coming up, walking the feet in between the hands. Hands are just resting on the blocks for now, staying connected as long as you can. When you're ready, we'll inhale, halfway lift, move the blocks. We will be moving the blocks a lot, so know that they don't have to always stay in the same spot or the same height. Coming to a halfway lift, you can see I have mine on the highest position here. We're going to take a little bend in the knees. Back is flat. And then straighten. Bend the knees. And then straighten. Bend. And straighten. Holding here in your halfway lift. Inhale. On your exhale, we'll forward fold. You may need to slightly move the blocks. Allow the head and neck to drape down. Hands to the mat. Bend in the knees. Start to bend at the hips. Slowly roll up, coming into our mountain pose. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Exhale the arms down beside you. We'll take 1 round of Surya Namaskar in a modified version using our blocks, playing into it. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, using the blocks, adjusting your height. From here, we're going to move the blocks just in front of the feet, placing them down about shoulders width distance apart. And then we'll step the feet back, coming into a lifted plank on our blocks. Toes are tucked. And then from here, dropping the hips. Inhale for a hanging dog pose. Again, the toes are slightly tucked. You can have a little bend in the elbows. Start to shift back, lift the hips, pushing back into a downward facing dog. Adjust the hands on the blocks. Again, the heels of the hands at the front edge of the blocks will make it a little easier for you to push down, pushing into the blocks almost like they are the mat. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Exhale it out through the mouth. When you're ready, we're going to inhale the left foot up towards the sky for a 3-legged dog. Feel that sensation as you are lifted more off the mat in the front body. Maybe you can push even deeper, opening into the back of that right hamstring. Start to bend the left knee, tiger curl, round it forward, place the left foot down and in between the blocks. Maybe widen the stance if you need to step the right foot back a little further. From here, adjust the height of the blocks coming into a low lunge. Now, we want to still stay strong in the torso. The blocks are there for balance and support and alignment so that we stay with this beautiful ski slope spine. Our chest isn't collapsed and just resting onto the leg. And we have some pressure into the blocks, but if you needed to, you could lift the hands off and be supported with the strength in your upper body. From this pose, we're going to take a little bit of a twist, plant the right hand down onto the right block, and then open up towards the left side. Opening the left arm, pushing into that right block to stay open and wide across the chest, lifting that back right knee. Stay active in the right leg. And then moving back into your lunge position. Adjust the height of the blocks if needed. You'll hear me say that over and over again. From here, we're going to walk the right foot in, maybe a foot or so, shortening the stance, coming into Parshvattanasana or pyramid pose. Lift the torso and the chest. The feet should be still about hip width distance apart. The right toes are facing forward. And then we're going to lower down into our pyramid pose. Hands resting on the blocks, trying to keep the back nice and flat, and the hip points are both facing forward. From pyramid pose, we're going to bend the right knee, sink back with the hips, keeping the left leg straight. Chest is still nice and lifted, and the back is straight. Straighten that right leg, come back into your pyramid pose. Inhale, lift slightly with the chest. Exhale, maybe lower down a little further. On the next inhale, we'll inhale the chest just to come halfways. Turn the right toes out slightly like you would in your warrior one pose. Adjust the height of your right block. We'll come into revolved triangle pose. Open the right arm up to the sky once more. So similar here, but still quite different. Twisting in the upper body, having the right toes turn out will feel a little bit better for your knee. Start to shift the right hip slightly forward. And then when you're ready, we're going to windmill the right arm down or the left arm down. Adjust the stance, coming back into our low lunge. Maybe step the right foot back a little further. Lift the chest slightly. Inhale. Exhale. Plant the blocks down. Place the hands down. And then step the right foot back, coming into our downward facing dog. Once more. Inhale. Exhale, release. One more. Inhale. Exhale, release it out. This time, we're going to lift the right leg up, coming into three-legged dog. On this side, notice the difference when we use the blocks. The height, maybe, that you get just starting out your practice by lifting the right leg, having more openness in the shoulders. Start to bend the right knee, round. Draw it in, stay tucked, create height and space so that you can lift and lower that right foot down in between the hands, coming into low lunge on the right side. Adjust the blocks. Stay lifted in the chest so that we're not collapsing over that right leg. Inhale and exhale. Lower the left block. If you'd like a lower height, plant the left palm down onto the block. Open up for an easy twist over, opening to the right side. Lengthening across the front of the chest, pressing into the block. So you feel that rebound effect from energy moving from your right pinky all the way down to the left hand. And then exhale, come back to your low lunge. From low lunge, again, we're going to bring that left foot in, maybe a foot or so, shortening the stance, start to straighten out the right front leg. Feet are separated so that they're about on railroad tracks. Toes pointing forward. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lower slightly till you feel a stretch on the back of that right hamstring. Shift the right hip back. Hands just resting gently onto the blocks, playing around with the heights that you might feel that you need from this side versus the other. And then keeping the back flat, we're going to keep the right leg where it's at, bend the left knee, and take a little runner's stance in this pyramid pose. Allow the upper body to drape forward, and then straighten the left leg, return back to pyramid pose. Inhale, lift the chest slightly. Exhale, fold forward over the front of that right leg. From your pyramid pose, let's inhale it up. We're going to turn the left toes out just like we would in a warrior one pose, making space for our knees so that we feel comfortable. Plant the left hand down onto the block, taking a revolved Trikonasana or triangle pose, opening up towards the right side of the room now. Reaching with those right fingertips. Inhale, and then exhale, plant that right hand down onto the block, come up onto the back left toes, and then we're going to shift back, again coming into our downward facing dog, lifting the hips, pressing into the blocks. Inhale, and exhale. Feel free to adjust the position of your blocks, or walk your feet in or out if you need to adjust your stance. On the next inhale, lifting the left leg up, reach, stay tall, stay engaged, lift the back of the left hamstring, start to bend the left knee in, tiger curl, come up onto the toes of the back right foot to make space and plant the left foot down onto the mat. Returning once more to low lunge, now back on our first side. From low lunge, chest is lifted, hands are supported with the blocks. From our low lunge, we're going to adjust our right block, plant the right palm down onto it, revolve the chest open towards the left side of the room. Reach with those fingertips, maybe feeling a little more open. Inhale, and then exhale, return back to low lunge. From low lunge, step that right foot back in just slightly. Straighten the left front leg, lift the torso, come up, and then exhale, folding over that left straight leg. Taking a breath here in our pyramid pose. On your next inhale, lift the torso up slightly, and then turn the right toes out, moving into our revolved triangle. Place the right block down, set the right palm upon it, and then revolve the chest once more to the left side of the room. Inhale. And exhale. From here, we're going to lift the back heel up off of the mat. Keep the left arm lifted. Bend into the left knee. Take the right block with you as you shift the weight forward and come into a revolved half moon on the left side. So the left block, or the right block, is in front of you, about maybe 12 inches or so. The right leg is lifted. Chest is opening up towards the left side of the room. Holding here. Actively lift that left quad, drawing the knee up. Opening the chest. And then revolve the chest so that you look down in front of you. Grab that other block. Adjust the height as we hold here in a supported warrior 3 pose with the right leg lifted only. To start, we have the hands down supported with the blocks. Stay strong in that left leg. Inhale the left arm alongside the face, keeping the block there with you. So now the left arm is lifted and the right leg is lifted. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly lower the left arm. At the same time, we'll lower the right leg. Make space for the foot to plant down. Maybe adjust yourself on your mat here. Inhale, halfways lift, using your block so that your back stays nice and flat. Exhale, go ahead, forward fold. Head and neck can hang down. You can have a little bend in the knees if it feels good. From here, slight bend in the knees. We're going to prepare to roll up. Grab a block with you on your way up. Bend at the hips and slowly roll up to standing. Very good. From here, we'll inhale that block up above us. And exhale for a mounted pose, pressing the block in between the palms. And then side body lean over towards the right. Inhale. Exhale, return to center. Inhale towards the left. Exhale, return to center. Slowly lower the arms down. From here, we'll take the block and place it in between the upper thighs, so just above the knees. Squeezing the block. Feet are just a little wider than hip width distance apart. And from here, you probably know where we're going. We're going to sink the hips back, lower down into chair pose. Squeeze that block, arms alongside the ears, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. From this posture, can you slowly lower all the way down onto the mat without using your hands, keeping the block in between the legs, and then come into your boat pose. Quite a challenge. If you lose the block, just put it back where it was. Coming into low boat, inhale, exhale, lower down, and then come up, bending the knees. We'll take that for 4 more. Lower down for 4, and rise up, down, and up for 3, squeezing the block, feeling the inside of the legs work for 2, and lower down, and hold up here for 1. We'll take a 5-second hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and set that block down. Cross the ankles. Come and roll over through tabletop. Maybe walk yourself back on the mat like I have to do here. And when you're ready, we're going to place those blocks back just as we had them for our downward facing dog. And then plant the hands with the heels towards the back edge. Tuck the toes and push back into downward facing dog. Inhale. And exhale. Use this as a release. A little comforting pose before we move on to the opposite side. Inhale once more. And exhale it out through the mouth. On the next inhale, draw the right leg up. Lift it up towards the sky. Get extra height there. Reach, stay strong, lifting through the toes. Start to bend the right knee. Round it into the upper body. Making space for that foot to plant. Maybe you've noticed using the blocks, there's a little more space there. It's a little easier to get your foot in between the hands. Coming to low lunge, using the blocks, lifting the chest, sinking down into the hips. Very good. From here, plant the left hand down. Open up into your twist, twisting towards the back of the room now, lifting the right fingertips up towards the sky. And then exhale, bring it back to low lunge. From low lunge, we'll step that back foot in about a foot or so, making space so that we could settle into our pyramid pose on the right side. The feet are both facing the front of the room. Inhale, lift the torso slightly. Exhale, fold it forward. Taking a moment in your pyramid pose, feeling a little warmer. Inhale. One more exhale here. And then when you're ready, we'll take our twist, lift the torso up just slightly, and then turn those left toes out, feeling good in that left knee. Plant the left hand down onto the left block, revolve the chest, open once more to the back of the room for our revolve triangle. Inhale. And then exhale. We're going to come back into our low lunge. From low lunge, bend that right knee. We're going to step forward, pressing into the right foot, and then shifting onto the right foot. The left hand goes down for our revolved Chandrasana or Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, On the opposite side, right arm is lifted, left arm pressing down into the left block. The left foot is flexed. Maybe your gaze stays down. If you can, try to take your gaze towards the right side of the room. Keep the left leg lifted and then revolve the chest to face down towards the mat. Reaching for your right block, lift the chest. We'll come into supported warrior 3 on the right leg. Hips are even. The left foot is still flexed. Inhale. Exhale here. On the next inhale, keep the left hand down on the block and then reach the right arm beside the right ear with the block in the hand. Inhale. And exhale. We'll release the left leg and the right arm down to the mat, coming into our halfway lift. From here, let's exhale, forward fold over the front of the legs. Hands can come down to the mat. Relax the back of the neck. And then on the next inhale, let's start to bend the knees. Grab a block so it can travel with us as we slowly roll up into mountain pose. Inhale the block above your head and exhale here. On the next inhale, we'll side body lean towards the right, stretching out the left side body, keeping the left foot firmly planted. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale over towards the left, side body stretch on the right side. Maybe gaze comes to the right. Inhale, back to center. Very good. From here, again, we're going to move into that chair challenge. So we'll place the block in between the knees, just so that the inner thighs can squeeze. I'm going to move my other block just out of the way. And from here, the feet are separated. We'll inhale the arms up, shift the hips back, holding in our chair pose for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Can you lower down once more? Make your way onto the mat. Maybe not as graceful that time. Coming into boat with the knees lifted. Adjust your block if you need to. Of course, they're a little bulky. It can be hard to work with. From boat, we'll go from boat to low boat for 5 times. Inhale here. Exhale, lower. Inhale up for 1 and lower down. Inhale up and lower. That's 3. Up and down for 4. Up, lower down for 5. Let's hold in our low boat this time for 5, 4. Squeeze those thighs together. Hold the block. 3, 2, and 1. Lift up to your boat pose. Remove the block. Set it just to the side for now. Let's cross the ankles and roll through our tabletop position. Now, the next pose will be just coming into a Malasana squat. If you have yoga squat in your practice without a block, by all means take it. But this is where I really got into my yogi squat, by using a block for assistance. So shift up. Lift the hips up, allow the feet to come out with the toes turn out and the heels turn in. Make space for yourself as you keep the knees wide and sink the hips down. From here, we'll set the block just underneath our tailbone. And I'm going to take this option today. Press the elbows into the inner portion of the knees and open up the inner thighs and hips. Keep the chest lifted and the back long. Pause for a moment here. Now, the next movement is optional, yogi's choice. If you would like to play in your crow pose, this is where we'll take it. Or you could stay right here in Malasana, enjoy this deep hip opener. Wherever you're at, if you want to come into crow, we're going to shift forward. I'm going to move the back block out of my way. And then if you want to use blocks to support your crow pose, you can use them. Some people like to have them in front of their forehead as a means to stay balanced. Also, it's a little less scary because if you fall forward or you feel like you're going to fall forward, the block is right there at your forehead and it helps you feel a little more safer. So for your crow pose, the hands are planted down. We're going to lift the hips up slightly and then keep the knees in. We're going to have the knees just above the elbows. You may want to adjust your block. It might take a moment or two to find the right distance. And two, if you're just getting started in your crow pose, just leaning forward, pressing the head down onto the block, having most of the weight in the hands, but just a little knowing of that block is there. You can press into the hands, start to lift one foot up off of the mat, and then shift back onto your heels. Take that for a couple of rounds, lifting one foot up, connecting the foot or the knee to the elbow, and then letting the forehead just lightly touch the block. Place the foot down. Go ahead and take a couple of rounds of that, lifting one foot up off of a time. Using your breath and your space. Or if crow pose is in your practice, just come right into your crow pose. And whenever you're ready, we'll take our arm balance and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down into your crow pose, or out of your crow pose, I should say. Set the blocks to the side, and then we'll slowly lower down onto the mat. Moving into one more posture before we close out our sequence with Shavasana, we'll come into a supported fish pose using our blocks. One of my favorite, especially for a yin practice. Extend the legs out in front of you. Grab a block. Bring it with you as you slowly lower it down onto your forearms. And then take your block, place it lengthwise so it's following the length of your spine. Have the block supporting the base of the shoulder blades, but the head draping off the front of the block so that the top of the crown can come to rest onto the mat. The legs can extend out long, or if it feels better on your lower back, keep the knees bent and allow the hands to open with the palms facing up. Taking a restful couple of breaths here as we relax. I do apologize, I am getting over a cold, so sometimes I just feel like I stumble over my words because it is still just that little congested feeling within my throat. So if you notice I'm stumbling over my words a little bit more today, I apologize. Go ahead and breathe and relax here in your fish pose. If you would like to come out of fish pose and lower right down to Shavasana, go ahead and by all means come straight into Shavasana. Otherwise, you can take fish pose as your Shavasana, and we'll close out our practice right here in this supported back bend, allowing ourselves just to take the last minute or so to absorb the benefits of our practice. Use this time to acknowledge the effort that you made. Using props by no means is a crutch in any way. Props in a yoga practice are extremely beneficial, and they just encourage much more better muscle alignment and engagement throughout the body. You can recognize how you feel into certain shapes more. You can find the straightness of the line. You can engage into certain parts of the shoulder or in the thighs when we were squeezing the block and using that as resistance. It's such a great all-around tool to have with you in your yoga practice. When you're ready to wake yourself up from your Shavasana, you can stay here as long as you want, but if you're ready to start moving again, to come out of your fish pose, if the legs are straight, please bend the knees first. and then push into the mat with your forearms and your elbows to lift yourself up off of the black block, and slowly remove the block over to the side. As I said, it is so hard for me to talk still with this cold, but I still love practicing yoga with you. I'm glad that you show up for your practice with me here on this channel. And I hope you enjoyed this practice as well. I want to create more practices that utilize specific props, especially blocks, because they are so much fun and they do make things just a little bit more different. They feel so different, even when you come into some of your very basic poses, such as downward facing dog. And I use that term loosely because basic is that pose is anything but basic. There are a lot of things going on. But if you enjoyed this sequence and you love using your blocks, see, can't talk, drop me a message. Let me know what you like to use blocks for most in your practice. As always, I hope you have a great day. Make it a good one. Bye.